A White House appeal challenging the ruling of lower courts against the constitutionality of President Trump's tariff is pending before the US Supreme Court. The top court is expected to deliver rulings on argued cases when it takes the bench on Wednesday.
I've long been very clear that the Supreme Court should strike Donald Trump's tariffs down. The president's tariffs are an unlawful usurping of Congress's authority over trade.
U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff policies now at the hands of the Supreme Court.
Today we are talking about a very important issue in the United States that can affect prices, jobs, and even daily life for common people. This news is about President Donald Trump's tariffs and how the U.S. Supreme Court is now involved. Many people hear the word tariff but do not fully understand why it matters so much. So let's break this down in a clear and interesting way. Tariffs are taxes placed on goods that come from other countries. When a product enters the United States from abroad, the government can charge extra money on it. This makes the product more expensive. The main idea behind tariffs is to protect American companies and American workers. When foreign products become costly, people may buy more local products. That sounds simple, but the real impact is much deeper. During his presidency, Donald Trump used tariffs more than many past presidents. He placed high tariffs on goods from countries like China, Mexico, and some European nations. These goods included steel, aluminum, electronics, and many daily use items. Trump believed these tariffs would force other countries to make fair trade deals with the United States. Some American companies supported this move because it helped them compete with cheaper foreign goods. But many businesses did not like it at all. Companies that depend on imported materials had to pay more money. When companies pay more, they often increase prices for customers. This means people shopping for phones, cars, or even household items may end up paying more. Now the big question is whether the president had the legal power to impose such wide tariffs. This is where the Supreme Court comes in. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the United States. Its job is to decide whether actions taken by the government follow the Constitution and the law. Several businesses and trade groups challenged Trump's tariffs in court. They argued that the president went beyond his authority. They said that Congress, not the president, should control major trade decisions like this. These cases slowly moved through lower courts, and now key questions are reaching the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court supports Trump's tariffs, it will give future presidents more power over trade decisions. A president could raise or lower tariffs without much approval from Congress. This could change how trade policy works in the United States for many years. But if the Supreme Court rules against the tariffs, it could limit presidential power. It would mean that Congress must play a bigger role in deciding trade taxes. This could also lead to refunds or changes for businesses that paid billions under these tariffs. This decision is not just about politics. It directly affects the economy. If tariffs remain, prices on many imported goods may stay high. If tariffs are removed, some prices could come down. However, removing tariffs may also hurt American manufacturers who benefited from protection. Stock markets are also watching closely. Trade decisions influence investor confidence. A ruling that removes tariffs could boost international trade and markets. A ruling that keeps them may increase tensions with other countries. Another important point is global relationships. Countries affected by US tariffs have responded with their own tariffs. This back and forth is often called a trade war. Trade wars can slow down global growth and reduce trust between nations. For everyday Americans, this issue may show up in small ways. Higher prices at stores, changes in job markets, uncertainty for businesses that rely on imports or exports. Even farmers are affected because many sell products overseas and depend on stable trade rules. What makes this news so important is that it sets a precedent. It decides how much power one person can have over the economy. It also decides how trade rules will be made in the future. The Supreme Court's ruling will not come overnight, but when it does, it will shape economic policy for years. This is why experts, business leaders, and global markets are paying close attention. This case reminds us that legal decisions are not just about law books. They influence money, jobs, prices, and international trust. That is why this news is one of the most important stories right now in the United States. As this case moves forward, Americans should watch carefully, because the result will not stay inside a courtroom. It will reach homes, stores, and workplaces across the country.